So we have one more example that we're going to look at before you try the U-tries. So in this example, 3 parentheses x minus 2 is equal to x. So we're going to try to go through this without our steps, but as you can see, we've got our steps up here above. So first step, look for parentheses, get rid of parentheses. Second step, combine like terms. Third step, get the variables on the same side. The fourth step, get the constants on the same side. And then the fifth step, if you remember, is to always undo division or multiplication. Guys, one thing I forgot to point out before, if you are having to undo division or multiplication, if you're doing that earlier on, chances are you're possibly making a mistake. Typically, division and multiplication is always going to be last. Now, we are going to be looking at some examples that break the rule, but we're just not there yet. Right now, we just need to focus on solving for x, finding the value of x. Okay, so now that we've reviewed, let's look. Okay, so the first step is to get rid of parentheses. Remember, to do that, you are going to use your distributive property. I'm going to distribute the 3 to the x and the 3 to the negative 2. So when I do that, 3 times x is 3x, 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, or 3x minus 6. Guys, I don't ever use double signs, so if that's the habit that you're in, you're not going to see me do that, okay? So 3x minus 6 is equal to x. The second step is to combine like terms. Now, again, 3x and x, yeah, they're kind of like terms, but right now they're not. And why is that? Because they're not on the same side. So if I cover this side up, this expression, 3x minus 6, there are no like terms that I can put it with. It stands alone. This side right here, x, again, it's by itself, so there's nothing I can do. So I'm not going to combine like terms. So then the next step is variables together. Get the variables on the same side. So I need to be able to put the 3x and x on the same side. So how am I going to do that? Well, this is one that you really have to be careful with, because I see this mistake over and over again. One problem that I always see students run into is they lose one side of the equation. So I've always told you to try to focus on the smaller one and move it to the other side. But does anybody know the problem if I move the x over here? What happens? If I do that, then the x, or the right side, disappears. And so what once was an equation now becomes an expression. So what we're going to do to keep it as an equation, we are going to move the x. We're going to move the 3x to the x. So we are going to go this direction, okay? So how do I do that? Well, I want to subtract 3x from both sides. So let's just rewrite this. I'm going to subtract the 3x from the x. Now I will have negatives, but that's okay. So cancels out. Bring down your negative 6. Bring down your equals. X minus 3x is going to be negative 2x. So now we've got the variables on the same side. So now constants together. Do I have to worry about that? I've got the constant here. I don't have any constants over here, so I don't have to worry about step 4. So I'm going to skip that step. And so my last step is to undo multiplication or division. So these two are glued together by multiplication. How do you undo multiplication? We divide. So we're going to divide both sides by -2. -6 divided by -2 is +3. So now we have our value for x. X is 3. Now, I want to show you, and you don't have to write this down, but I at least want to show you what would have happened if we had gone the other route with this. So back to the beginning, distribute. So I have 3x minus 6 is equal to x. What would have happened if I had moved the x over here? Well, like I said, subtract the x from both sides, and it cancels out. Bring down your equals. 3x minus x is 2x. 2x minus 6 is equal to, Miss Greene, I now have an expression. What do I do? How do I finish this? Well, guys, don't forget, if I have one apple and I take that apple away, how many apples do I have left? Oh, I have no apples. So don't forget 0 is a number. 0 exists on the number line. And so I always want to make sure that I have something on each side of the equation. So now I'm going to get my constants together. So now I'm going to add the 6 to the 0. And I have 2x is equal to 6. Then I'm going to divide by 2. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. So there we go. So the difference in doing it this way, it created one extra step for us. But like I said, if you did not put the 0 there, you would have had a hard time finding the value of x. And there's a good chance you would have got a -3 instead of a +3.